let's talk about some grammar, the present tense. The first person versus the third person. What are the 5 different ways of using the present tense? Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Cornerstone Skills, and my name is Elizabeth Alex. The different tenses in English tells us about what activity or what action is done. So there's an activity always happening at a certain time, and it could be the now. The now is something that we heard in one of our previous videos, which is about the present continuous tense. Or it could be something that is finished, done, which is the past tense. Or it could be something that is yet to happen, maybe today, tomorrow, next month, next year, which is the future tense. So the tense you speak always depends upon the time. Now, the present tense is nothing but the regular routine, something that you do on a daily basis. There is no change in the verb at all. Remember one thing, most of the time that we speak, we usually speak in the simple present tense. I remember a quote by Alex Rodriguez, and this is what he says. Winners live in the present tense. People who come up short are consumed with the past or the future, and I want to be living in the now. What does he mean? He says successful people are always thinking about the present, how they need to achieve their goal, and they're so focused on the now. Whereas the others are always thinking about their regrets in the past, or they're thinking or they're worrying about the future, or they are aiming for unrealistic goals. Wake up, everybody. Let us all walk together in the now. So, how do you frame a simple present tense? It is nothing but subject plus the basic form of the verb. For example, I cook 2 meals a day. You eat dinner very early. We, my husband and I, we walk every morning. Ramu and Kiran, they play in the park in the evening. I hope you know the difference between we and they. We means I inclusive, they means I am not included. So how do you exercise this present tense, the regular routine? On a daily basis, you need to talk to yourself, not in your mind, but audibly, for you to hear your own voice and talk to yourself and tell yourself what you do on a regular basis. For example, I would say, I wake up at 5 a.m., I brush my teeth, I go for a walk, I get back home, I prepare breakfast, and I take a bath, I get ready for work. Did you notice I use the verb as it is? You can also practice this as often as possible. So when we speak, we speak the same for I, we, you, they. What are the words? Wake, brush, drink, go, prepare, get ready. Now, when you talk about the third person, now the second point we're talking about is when you talk about a third person, what do? You add an S. To all these words, you add an S. So it would be he wakes up, he brushes, he takes a bath, he gets ready, he goes, right? But there is a twist here. There is something different here in this third person. When you add must or can to this verb, when you add must or can before the verb for a third person, you do not add an S. Did you hear me? When you add must or can before the verb for a third person, you do not use the S. Let me give you an example. Ashik walks every morning. Ashok can walk every morning. I used can, so I don't use S for the walks. Now, what is the difference in the meaning of these two sentences? Ashik is very consistent about his walking. Ashok also can be consistent, but he doesn't walk. Ashok also can walk, but he doesn't walk. That is the difference between the two Sentences. Renu cooks very well. Renu must cook for her family. The S is not there for the cook because you've used must. So whether she likes it or not, she has to cook for her family. Now let's come to the third point. Now there are some indefinite general statements that we make using the present tense in the third person. Like for example, the sun rises in the east. The sun is it. It rises in the east. Taj Mahal is built on the river Yamuna. Taj Mahal is it. Those are general statements. Those are called universal truth. There is no change in them. Why? Because they are not time bound. There is no change in them. They are not time bound. Likewise, you are a doctor. I am a trainer. Girls love to dress up. All these are facts of life. Now, here's a simple exercise for you. I want you to watch this short clip. This is the life of a young mother, how she wakes up in the morning, she feeds her little child, gets him ready for nursery, and then she drops him at school. After that, she comes back home, and what does she do? Watch the video, exercise your brain, use as many words as possible. Done? Now, another important rule, if you have scheduled programs and events in the future, it is always in the present tense. For example, I leave for Kerala on Friday. I leave for Kerala on Friday. It is already planned. That is why I use the simple present. It is already planned, so I use the simple present tense. The train arrives at 7 p.m. in the evening. Already fixed. It's a fixed timing. My meeting starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Now, why are we using the present tense here when we are actually talking in the future? That is because it is already scheduled and planned. Finally, if you want to narrate a story, it is usually good to narrate a story in the present tense because it makes the story more exciting, more interesting. So, what are the rules that we learned? Number one is I, we, you, they. We use the basic verb. Number two, he, she, it. We use the s or the es unless we use those words must or can before the verb. There is no change. Number three, a universal truth. There is no change for facts, general statements, or habits because they are not time bound. Number four, what is number four? Scheduled events in the future. Scheduled events in the future, we use the present tense. And number five, when you tell a story, it is always good to narrate it in the present tense because it sounds more interesting. Now, if you failed to understand any of what has been mentioned, go through it and listen to it again. Don't give up. Press through. You will master the English language. Bye-bye.